Hello, FlossTube Stitchers. How's your December going for you? Everybody that I talk to here says that the month is just flying, as has the entire year. I don't know what happened, but everybody is feeling the same way. So I guess there's safety in numbers or comfort in knowing that other people feel the same way. I'm going to start off today with some vintage Christmas items, including something that I'm wearing. So maybe 15 or 20 or 100 years ago, I made these wood decorated pins to sell in my shop. And I just remembered like 5 minutes ago that I think I signed them just Shelly. I mean, I don't think I literally signed them on the back, or did I? Anyway, the tags I think said just Shelly because the shop is just stitching. So anyway, it was an idea from one of the leisure arts publications, and I think it was a group of things that was kind of like country in nature. So I don't really know if it would still be popular now. Would it be considered prim? I'm not sure, but Christmas is always in style, right? So I decided to wear this today, and then I had along the way found some gingerbread earrings to match. But anyway, I'll try to give you a closer shot here. It starts off with a wood base. It's a, can you tell? It's a heart shape, and they came unfinished, and so I would set up my dining room table, I guess, and do an assembly line style with painting and sanding and gluing and organizing. And I had a lot of fun doing different themes. I think the holidays were my favorite, but I also did a stitching theme, and I used the black labels that come off of the DMC skein, so I saved them up for a while. I think I probably still have like a whole mason jar full of the DMC labels, but anyway, it was kind of fun. And I still have one customer that very sweetly points out to me if she's wearing one of my pins on her sweater or her coat, and I think it's kind of funny that somebody's still wearing them. But it reminded me, the other day I had a customer come in and ask for a particular theme. I don't remember now what it was, but she said, I don't want it to be country. And I thought, well, if you haven't stitched in a while or haven't been in a needle workshop for a while, I'm not really sure what you mean by country. Are you thinking of geese with bows around their necks from the 80s or 90s? Are you thinking of Amish quilts on the line? I'm not really sure, what country means to you, to them, whoever. And when you look up country or Americana decor right now, you get everything that's popular right now. Modern farmhouse, Americana, prim, what else is it called? I took some notes. No, I guess that's it. Modern farmhouse seems to be the most popular term, I guess, that's used. But I think she found something. I don't remember, but it made me think of these, that they were considered kind of countryish at the time. And then the second thing I have is also quite old, but I feel like Christmas decorating sometimes just stays in style because of the theme. But you can tell by the fabric I used, that it's kind of dated. But this is a Heinzit, and I believe it was called Mini Block Christmas, but now when I go to look it up online, it's still available for me to order from Witch Out Imports. And they show it two ways. You can order it with silver charms or gold charms. But when I looked it up on Marge's site, Heinzit.com, it was called Mini Block Christmas, but it actually had stitched things underneath different charms. And she did not have this one shown. So I'm confused as to whether this particular one is still available. You could always buy the newer one and not stitch the colorful things and just keep it kind of a two-tone, two-color design. but yet that one's not available from the distributor. So I'm a little confused. I should have done my homework a little bit sooner, but I actually didn't decide to show this until this morning. So I didn't do my research. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is a tip and also a question to you as to how you handle charms when you're putting them on your stitching. So back in the day when I stitched this, I decided not to coat the charms with anything and see what happened. And that would be a test, and it would be something I could show my customers, and they could decide for themselves whether they wanted to treat them. But the tip was, all those years ago, to put clear nail polish on them to kind of hold the silver, bronze, gold, whatever coating on it. I don't think that's the thing to do for sterling silver, but for the other types of charms, that's what you would do. So the charms themselves have tarnished, and I feel like the angel is the worst, but then again, some of them didn't tarnish much at all, so maybe they really look differently from the beginning. But if I lift the charm up, you can see that the tarnishing has left a little bit of a shadow on the fabric underneath. Some are going to be easy. Oh, there you go. You can see the whole shape of the bell. So let's see, that's another one that you could probably see the shape underneath. So it doesn't bother me because when the charms are laying the way they're supposed to, you don't see it. Well, now I've messed that one up. But you don't really notice it. But if you had something under glass and you didn't want the charms to tarnish, you know, what do? I really could not find any other information online besides using clear nail polish. There might be other products in the jewelry making business that you use. I didn't delve that far into it. I was just looking for stitching tips for treating charms. So if you have any experience with jewelry or things that have worked or haven't worked for you when you put charms on your stitching, would you please either email me or let me know in the comments? Maybe do it in the comments. That way, if other people read it, then they'll see the tip too. But at a later date, I could share some more information if you have different ideas. Okay, enough about that. Why don't I just go ahead and show you new shop models? And they all belong to me, but only one of them I stitched. So this, well, what started it is, I'll show you the crazy moldings that started this idea. There's about maybe 10 different samples on the wall, but you can combine the colors. So you can, there's a myriad of color choices that you can come up with on your own. And we just used this for another customer's pieces recently. And I decided that we needed to have some models in the store that were also done with these. So I went in my stack of finished needlework that I hadn't decided how to fully finish and grabbed a couple things, and Bonnie found some frame combinations that would work for me. So the first one is Buzz from Lizzie Kate's Spring Smalls, and as you can see, I can still get these. I still have these in the store. So that's Buzz. I did it on 32 count vintage. Oops, I forgot the name of it now. I was thinking it was African Daisy, but that's a Joblin. I'm pretty sure this is a Zweigart in their vintage line. Shoot, I can't remember the name. I'll try to remember. Anyway, I did it in black or dark gray. I think it's $37.99. And I love this frame. I had a lot of bee fabric, but none of it looked perfect with this, and so I thought, well, maybe I'll frame it, but I don't know. And I love this, so I'm glad I procrastinated. Then the other two are from the Tiny Modernist, and let's see. I think the line was called Sweet Sayings. That's what the chart is called now. It looks like you can only get it as a PDF with all 3 charts for $8.50 from her website. I meant to, when I left these for the framer, I meant to check with Cheryl at Tiny Modernist and see if I could still order the charts, even if the kits weren't available. And I completely forgot that I had even sent them off to be framed. So I'll have to let you know the end result of that conversation. But this is one of them. Every Moment Matters. And this was stitched with, yeah, this is the one that was stitched with 2 strands of floss on the little polka dot 32 count Zweigart fabric. And the turquoise just seemed to be a really good match to that. And I like black. That was dark gray. This is going to go on my inspiration wall, someplace wherever I put it. I think the master bedroom. And so I like black, so I decided to do that in black. And then the second one is a little more tame. It's just the white with the black. Do all things with kindness. And this was stitched with 1 strand. They were both kits that I sent to one of my friends / part-time helpers from way back when, who moved to senior living a few years ago. And before she unpacked, she asked me to send her some projects to keep her busy. And I sent her those, and I said, if you like any of these, please stitch one for the shop and also stitch one for yourself. And I guess she didn't want to do it for herself, so she stitched both of them for me. So I don't know why one was in 2 and one was in 3, but it's kind of fun in person to show people what it looks like when you make that decision for yourself. Yeah, so it's called Sweet Sayings, and the 3rd chart in the series that's on the PDF that you'll get says Enjoy Little Things. Alrighty, I think I got everything for that. Then my only whip right now, because I'm still waiting for out of stock floss to come in, so I just moved on to something else. And if you follow me on social media, you may have already seen this. Oops, I accidentally showed the chart for too long on the video, so I have to start that part over. What was I saying? I showed Christmas Day last week as a new chart, or a re-released chart, and I said that I wanted to stitch that snowman someday, and someday was 2 days later. And in case somebody needed this chart before I got more in, because I had only ordered 1 the first time around, I'm stitching it. Well, what I did last time is I turned the whole chart around to show you, and I can't do that. So anyway, I can see this 4 design chart on the back side of this, and this is inside. So I was able to just turn the chart over, keep it in the plastic bag without bending it or getting into it. So I can stitch from the back, and nobody needed it, and that's fine, and I have more coming, but just in case, I didn't want to mess up the chart. But I showed the chart, not realizing, not thinking. Anyway, one thing I wanted to point out is a lot of times with a black and white chart, especially if it's a free chart, I like to look at the color picture. So I will also snap a screenshot or save the photo to my photo library on my device so that I can look at the color chart. Well, I'm glad I wasn't just stitching from this picture, because he's missing part of his stick arm. This one's correct, and that one missed part of the stitch. But anyway, enough about that. Here is what I actually got stitched. This was probably 2.5 nights of stitching. Haven't had too much time. Still fooling around with my parents' move, getting things ready at their old house for a charity to come and pick up furniture and boxes of donations, and then still dragging things over to their apartment. But anyway, that's like 2.5 nights. So 1 more night and I'll finish the last bird. And you know me, this design was not perfectly square. And it didn't matter if it was in the 4 design thing with the, says Christmas on top. It didn't matter there that this design wasn't square, but for a single ornament, I needed it to be square. So I added, I think I had to add 3 or 4 stitches, and I added a couple at the top, and I'm going to add 1 at the bottom. And that was easy enough to do without changing it too much. His hat just got a little taller. That's fine. So anyway, I've really enjoyed working on him. I might go back and do a satin stitch over his nose. I just thought of that. Did I leave? No, I tied off the floss, but that's okay. I can go back and do that. That might give some texture. And then it gets some backstitched green to make it look more like a broom. Anyway, that's been fun. Probably finish that tonight. All right, on to the new stuff. And I'm gonna show you the only merchandise that's not a chart first. This is from It's So Emma, and they're called Farm Fresh Eggs Floss Drops. So I love it because it's an egg shape. I love eggs. I love eggs anyway, in any format, cooked any way. And I love the shape of an egg. And then it has a bee on it, so it's totally perfect for me. You get 20 of them for $10, and of course it was designed by Lori Holt of Bee in My Bonnet. Okay, that's that. Now for the charts. My automatics collided this week. I was going to film the charts a little bit earlier. I wasn't sure what this weekend was going to bring as far as family drama or responsibilities, or just when family could get together and do things at the house. So I wasn't sure when I was going to film the video, and I thought maybe I would do the charts ahead. And I'm glad I didn't, because I got an auto like every day. Okay, the first one I'm going to start with is because it's a smaller size chart. So Primrose Cottage Stitches has a new, what they're calling 9-patch series. So this is January. It's a monthly, of course. January, February. Oops, remove the wrong one, and March. And this is actually going to be the gift for this week. And I didn't think of a question. What should I ask you? Do you stitch monthlies? I've probably already asked that before, but we'll do that again. Do you stitch monthlies? Maybe what's your favorite, or what's the last one you did, whatever. And I'll put you in the random number generator drawing for next week. Alrighty, then these are the medium-sized charts. The automatic from Annie B's Folk Art has Gathering Pumpkins and Gathering Holly, and they match the Gathering Strawberries. Seems like a 4-season series to me. So there's the Holly one. All right. Artful Offerings. Let's see, I got to show this sideways. What is this called? Kind and Gentle Woodland Holiday Sampler. I've never seen a deer in Christmas pajamas before. That's awesome. I love this. From the Heart, it has a new monthly Quaker series. This is January, and it's $8. The Auto from Heartstring Samplery was simply the Sunday Stitches monthly chart. Great is Thy Faithfulness. I love the way this design looks so vintage. It's just the epitome of vintage. Country, vintage. Another ornament from Homespun Elegance. This is Sweet Grandchild. Sandra does one every year for her grandson. Then a few more from Madame Chantilly. Baby, It's Cold Outside. And I love when designers give you the idea to take out portions of the design and do something else with it, something smaller, like you could stitch the bigger one for yourself maybe, and a smaller one as a gift. The Bear and the Robins. He's all festive in his Christmas sweater. Christmas Cookies. I'm either not showing or not telling you the price. Baby, It's Cold Outside was $14.75 for Bear and the Robins, $16 for Christmas Cookies. This is called Cookies Box, also for $16. And I think sometimes the difference in price has to do with the exchange rate at the time, or how many pages are in there. You know, how many designs she did, how many pages. And then the last one from her is Santa and the Fox. So cute. And that is $12.25. Alrighty, Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, I should say. Lori, I think, attended the first online market. I think it was August, or was it? I don't think it was back in March. I think it was August. And some of I didn't order directly from her. I believe she's in Canada, and I've been trying to get these from the distributor. And unfortunately, I wish I had just ordered from her direct, because they're not available when I try to order them. But this is the Acorn Catcher. I love that one. And Candy Crow. And sorry, I'll show you the price. But all of the ones for her Christmas Cottage series were out of stock. Then an auto from Plum Street Samplers, a Mount Vernon Christmas. This is 2018, so I'm thinking this was probably a previous retreat piece. Polar Pack is another one of her animal stacks. And this Joyous Season was a 2020 design that also I'm positive was a retreat. Yes, it was, because that's the Australian flag. So this was done, I think, with Fox and Rabbit in Australia. And she does give you the US flag inside. That's a lot of house stitching, but I absolutely love this, and I have to do it because of the deer and the sleigh. That's awesome. Scissortail Designs is a not a new business for me, but a new auto. I just signed up for her auto in August. So this is Winter Whimsies. Get all 3 designs. Oh, that's so my color. I love blue for winter. Stitching with the Housewives auto included the February calendar crate. $10 includes both of those designs. Hello Frosty from her All Jarred Up series is also 10. Look at all those snowflakes. You could do those individually and do a covered button or a smaller ornament with them. And look, another fox. Are foxes the new thing? Am I out of the loop? All right, and then her Back Up the Truck series. The newest one is Winter Wonderland. All righty, Waxing Moon Design, St. Patrick's House Trio from her series. All right, and the rest of them are Tiny Modernist. We have part 3 and part 4 of the Stockings Were Hung series. And just to let you know, whenever Tiny Modernist advertises a new SAL, she shows them first on her website as PDFs, but within like the month, we have them in the shop. And I've had people be confused by the wording when they're first announced, and I don't really know of any that weren't available as printed charts for shops to sell. So if you don't like printing on your own at home, you know, wasting your ink and paper, or I don't know, or you want to wait until the series is done to see it all before you commit to it. Anyway, just remember that the shops carry them too. All right, another one from her is Santa and Friends. All 3 designs are in there for $12. And then again, she shows you how to put the heads as little ornaments. Sometimes we just don't think of those things ourselves. Winter Band Sampler. Wait a minute. I think we're onto something here. Foxes. I love this. Can this be done as a drum too? I don't think she shows it 2 ways, but couldn't you see this as a drum? Or just put the 3 things as a horizontal piece if you have like a smaller area over a doorway maybe. I love this. So I know she's done a couple other seasons, so this is obviously a 4-season series. Alrighty, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Just a wee little bit of editing and this will be up for your enjoyment. Again, thanks for watching, and I know I'm behind in answering comments or responding to comments, but if you ask a question through email, you probably get a quicker response. And that's my husband, because I told him I'd be done by now. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't show the... Okay. Never mind. Let me start over again.